we are here for our part 1 grounding class for the September shifting series. Thank you for joining me today, my two lovely guests. All right, so why don't you go ahead. I'm going to sit in our cross-legged Savasana position, but you can go ahead and find a comfortable seat that fits you well. And go ahead, and if you feel comfortable, you can gently close your eyes and start to find your breath. And just allow yourself to arrive in this moment, grounding into your sits bones, the base of your pelvis. And let's go ahead and take a deep inhale in through our nose, pausing here. And as you inhale once more, take a big sip of air in through your mouth and try to fill your lungs. And then as you exhale, let out a big audible sigh, just letting it all go. Releasing anything that you don't need with you for the next 45 minutes or so on your mat. On our next breath in, I want you to notice where your body is making contact with the ground. And try to feel this pressure around you as your grounding anchor. And so as you inhale, breathing in through your nose, try to see if you can send that area. Imagine the air leaving your lungs and seeping down through your sits bones and into the floor, grounding you in to your mat and anchoring you to this moment. Let's inhale in. And again, exhale out, an audible sigh. Good. So as I mentioned, the theme of this class is stability through transformation. So I've chatted a little bit about like the external and internal shifts. And the whole goal of this is to acknowledge the external shifts happening around us, whether that be the seasons changing, new jobs, new friends, new routines. And we respond to those internally and allow for our internal shifts to match those external shifts. So it's grounding and finding the stability through, hopefully, a transformative shift. Okay, so we're moving with everything that's happening around us. And I just wanted to note this little story because I think this is a good theme as well to have. The idea that change is the only constant. So I think Claudia was the one that told me this, but then 3 weeks after she had said it, it was on one of my tea bags. And it is just a good way to look at things, is that change is truly the only constant. So are you going to allow yourself to adapt and move with it? Or are you going to stay stuck in this place of stillness and stagnance? And I also wanted to mention that, of course, we have this liminal space between what's past and what's present. You know, what was happening then and what's happening now. But where do you allow yourself to fall? Can you allow yourself to be present with this moment, at least now here for the next 45 minutes? And maybe I'll invite you guys, if you have an intention that you would like to set for your practice today, or repeating an affirmation, you can take the next minute to do so. I know this sounds cheesy, but my affirmation for today is I am grounded. I am grounded. Let's go ahead and take one more deep inhale in through our nose, bringing the shoulders up to our ears and pausing. And then try to take one more sip of air in through your mouth and let out a last loud audible sigh, fully arriving at our mat. So we'll begin to jump into our warm-up here. As we inhale, we'll sweep our arms overhead. As you exhale, go ahead and plant those hands down in front of you, shifting into a tabletop position. For the sake of the camera angle, I'm shifting into our tabletop position. And your option now is to take either a wide-legged or a closed-legged child's pose. I'm going to push myself back into this wide-legged child's pose, and allow yourself to walk your hands out far onto your mat and push your hands into the mat, sinking your hips down towards your heels. And maybe you allow your forehead to fall into the mat. And then go ahead and just find your breath here. Maybe breathing in through your nose and out through the nose. Or maybe you're allowing the exhales to release from your mouth. And on our next inhale, we'll go ahead and lift the forehead. Begin to walk those hands over towards the left side. Maybe those hands come off the mat. And maybe you bring your right hand on top of the left, allowing for that deep side stretch in the right side of the body. Exhaling here, sinking deeper into your hips. And go ahead, we inhale back to center, walking those hands maybe over now to the right side of your mat. And exhaling, sinking into this side. Maybe that left hand falls on top of the right hand, allowing for that deep stretch in the left side. And go ahead and inhale, walk those hands back. Allow yourself to drop that forehead down to the mat one more time, connecting with your breath. Maybe feeling the pressure of the different parts of your body, creating contact with the mat now. And allowing yourself to stay anchored into this moment. On our next inhale, we're going to walk our hands up into tabletop. And then go ahead and sit back down on your heels like this. So this is in our thunderbolt position. On our inhale, arms sweep overhead. And as we exhale, take it to the left. I'll come this way so you can see. We inhale up and then move over to the left. Left hand comes behind you. Right hand hovers over, allowing for that side stretch. And maybe you go ahead and take some big arm circles. Backwards twice, and then go ahead and change direction. Warming up our spine and our arms. And then we inhale, bring those arms back up to center. Maybe gaze between the fingers. And exhale, take it over to the right side. Right hand drops towards your right foot. Left hand hovers over. Same thing. Maybe take those big arm circles, warming up our body. Changing directions. And we inhale, those arms sweep back up to center. And as you exhale, bring those hands together at your heart center, Anjali Mudra, but interlace those hands. And then go ahead, tuck those toes, still sitting on our heels. We're going to come onto our toes like this, if you can see. This is a good way to strengthen our toes and stimulate our feet, which is really important for a grounding flow today. We need to make sure our feet are activated for this flow. With those hands still interlaced, just take a few rolls to warm up your wrists, maybe creating some figure eights, keeping those toes tucked, finding any movement that feels good in those hands and those wrists. And maybe you start to feel a little uncomfortable in the toes. I think at my yoga training, we had to hold this for 10 minutes. No, it doesn't sound that bad, but it was horrible. You're breathing here. And when you feel like those wrists are all warmed up, you can strap those hands onto your thighs. You can untuck the toes. We inhale, sweep those arms up one more time. Gaze between those fingers. And exhale, plant yourself into your tabletop. And begin to find some movement here, making sure those hands are below the shoulders, knees are below our hips. And find any fluid movement that feels good. So I like to drop my hips back towards my heels, creating some circles, rounding my spine. Any movement that you need to warm up your spine. And make sure you change directions. And as you have your hands planted into the mat, not so much now, but especially as we move into downward dog, make sure you're pushing into all those knuckles in your hand. So not just the base of your hand where the wrist meets the hand, but we want to activate all those fingers, making sure we feel the pressure in every knuckle. Go ahead and find that neutral spine, and then we'll come into 3 rounds of cat and cow. So on our inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. As we exhale, tuck the tailbone and your chin, rounding your spine for cat. Inhale, coming back into cow. Exhale, find your cat. And take the last round on your own breath. And find that neutral spine. As we inhale, tuck those toes. And on our exhale, we're going to push back into our first downward dog of the practice. So be kind to yourself. Feel what your body needs. Listen to any pain or any tension that you might be feeling or holding in the space. And just give yourself the next 3 breaths to walk out your dog. Maybe do some spinal rolls. We inhale, coming into high plank, and then creating that lower arch in your lower back as you send it back into your downward facing. Find your breath. On the next inhale, maybe you come up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, go ahead, try to drop those heels towards the mat. On empty, we walk our feet to meet our hands at the top of the mat, hanging in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, arms fall by your side, Tadasana. So we're going to enter our first Sun A. Run through that 3 times, and then I have 3 variations that we'll build on top of after. All right, let's begin. So, like I said before, we're trying to activate those feet. So standing at the top of our mat, start by taking your right foot and begin by lifting all of those toes off the mat. And one by one, maybe starting with your pinky toe, slowly plant each toe, spreading them firmly into the mat, activating that foot. Go ahead and do the same thing on the left side. Lift all those toes, and starting with the pinky toe, go ahead and plant each toe firmly into the mat, creating the space to allow you to fully be present in this moment. We inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back. Go ahead and take your first vinyasa. So we lower all the way down to the mat, untuck those toes, keeping the shoulders close to your body. And as we inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. Let's start with a cobra today. So thighs are planted into the mat. And then as we exhale, we tuck the toes, send it back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Pedal out your feet. Maybe coming up onto those toes, lifting the hips up to the sky, and trying to sink those heels down to the mat. On empty, we walk our feet, meet our hands at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands sweep overhead. Exhale, Tadasana. So, we inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, maybe an upward facing dog now. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. And exhale. On empty, walk those feet, or maybe you jump, feet to hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep up. Exhale, Tadasana. All right, how are we feeling? Good? Third time, I'm only going to cue the breath work, okay? So do your best to follow along or look at me in the camera. We inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hopefully you're back in your downward dog. Breathing here. Last original sun A, and then we'll move into some variations. Inhale, feet come up. Exhale, try to sink those heels down into the mat. On empty, walk our feet to hands. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. All right, take a sip of water if you need it. We're moving into the fun part. Let's begin. Right side. We inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back. Chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. On our next inhale, right leg sweeps up to the sky. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale up. Oops, this one. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Stay here or extend your right leg, opening fallen triangle. Now stay here, or if you want a little bit more, allow yourself to sink down into your mat. Right arm sweeps up. We inhale here and exhale, take a wide-legged forward fold. Allowing yourself to fall deeply into the ground, planting those hands firmly. Inhale to rise. Exhale, twisting back to the right, planting those hands firmly into the mat. Inhale, pushing up, three-legged dog. Are we following along? It's a little tricky. Exhale, step that right foot between the hands. Set yourself up for your high lunge. So make sure your stance is firm. We inhale, sweep those arms up, high lunge, high crescent. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Find your breath here. My back heel is lifted. I'm planting my toes into the mat. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, take it over, twisting towards the right. So my left tricep is falling on the outer edge of my right knee. For our revolve side angle, stay here, or if you want a deeper stretch, extend those arms on the exhale. This would be a great opportunity for a block under my left hand if you need a bit of extra length. And maybe your gaze is up at your right hand. Take 2 more breaths in this pose. Remember, we're focusing on the stability through these different transformative poses. Inhale. Exhale. Bring those hands back to heart center if they're not there already. We inhale, twist back to the front, arms up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands drop, frame that right foot, step it back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, find your down dog. Take your breath here. Move on to the left side. So we're in downward dog, moving on to our left side. On the inhale, left leg sweeps up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Stay here or extend that left foot, opening in your fallen triangle. Stay here, or if you want a little bit more, turn on to those heels and slowly drop down. Inhale, left arm rises. Exhale, hinge at those hips, fold down, forward. Allowing yourself to take one breath here. Sinking into those sits bones, grounding yourself. Inhale those arms, sweep up, reach up to the sky, lengthen that spine. Exhale, we twist over to the left, planting those hands into the mat. Inhale, come up onto that right toe, send it back for that three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot through for our high lunge. So as we inhale, we sweep those legs up, or the arms, sorry. Sweep those arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathing here. Inhale, maybe lengthening that spine a little bit more. And as you exhale, go ahead and take your twist over to the left side. Right tricep falls on the left thigh. If this is great, stay here. If you want a deeper stretch, extend those arms, planting the right hand into the mat. Gaze can be up at that left hand. Here for 2 breaths. Focus on grounding your feet into that mat. You're stable. You're strong. Engage your core. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe bring those hands back to the heart center. Twist to the front. Inhale for that high lunge. One more time. Reach back. Exhale. Go ahead. Frame that foot. Step it back. Chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale. We send it back. Downward facing dog. Go ahead. Drop those knees. Push yourself back into a nice child's pose. Allow yourselves to take a little breath. Find some water. You can go ahead and take what we did in the beginning of the class. If you'd like to walk those hands over to one side and then the other. Keeps opening up the sides of the body. That might feel good. All right, if you're with me in child's pose, take one more deep breath. And a big audible sigh. Maybe you take this moment to come back to your intention or your affirmation that you set at the beginning of class. Remember, we're staying rooted in this present moment. On your next inhale, go ahead and push yourself up into that tabletop position. Exhale, tuck the toes, send it back, downward facing dog. Walk it out here. Raise those hips on the inhale. Exhale, drop the heels down. On empty, we walk our feet to meet our hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Great job. We're moving back over to the right side. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. This time, inhale, right leg sweeps up to the sky. Exhale, step it between the hands. We inhale for a high crescent lunge, or maybe you shift that back foot 45 degrees for our Virabhadrasana, warrior 1. Make sure those hips are squared. If this is too much pressure on the left knee, I recommend staying in your high crescent. Otherwise, we're here in warrior. Make sure you're pushing into that outer left pinky toe and sinking deep into your front leg. Inhale here. Exhale, we open Virabhadrasana 2. Find your breath, sink a little deeper. On the next inhale, we reach that right palm forward. Flip it. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, coming into our side angle lunge. Right forearm down to our right thigh. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, side angle lunge. Exhale, reverse. Last time we inhale, side angle lunge. And exhale, go ahead, put those hands down, framing that right foot, step it back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale into your down dog. Breathing here, moving on to the left. Okay, here we go. Moving on. Inhale, left leg sweeps up to the sky. Exhale, we step it through. Inhale for our high crescent lunge. Or go ahead, shift that right foot now 45 degrees to the side. Warrior one. Hips are square to the front. Back leg is internally rotating. In here, breathe. Exhale, we open warrior two. Make sure those arms are in line with one another. Inhale, reach forward, flip the palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale for side angle lunge. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, reverse. Last time we inhale, side angle. And exhale, plant those hands down, framing your left foot. Step it back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Send it back on that exhale. Downward facing dog. Good job. Breathing here, coming up onto those tippy toes with an inhale. Exhale, can you sink those heels even deeper than before on that exhale? On empty, walk the feet to meet your hands, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms are overhead. Exhale, Tadasana. Woo! We have one more standing sequence. Can we do it? Let's move. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Cobra or downward dog. Send it back. All right, on our next inhale, right leg sweeps up to the sky. Exhale, step it through. We inhale right into our warrior one, sinking in there. On the exhale, those arms open up, warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, flip the palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale to our side angle lunge to hold. So option to keep the right forearm on that right thigh, or maybe you deepen your stretch by dropping that arm down, or perhaps you want to take a bind today. So that bind could look something like bringing my right arm on the inside of my right thigh, underneath my thigh, and bringing my left arm around my back to interlace those hands. If this is what you want today, perfect, stay here. If you want a little more and you want to join me for Bird of Paradise, keep those hands interlaced. Step the left foot a little bit forward and begin to come up onto your right toes, slowly raising into a Bird of Paradise. Muy bien. You can mess around with this for a second, whatever feels good. If this is the only bind you want to take today, or even right here, listen to your body before you listen to me. Woo. Balance is hard today. All right, find your way back into the side angle, right side. We inhale, exhale. Inhale, we come back up, reverse your warrior. And exhale, go ahead. Plant those feet, framing the right foot, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale. And find your exhale. Letting out that audible sigh, anything you don't need. Last side standing series. Let's do it. Inhale, sweep that left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one, left side. We stay. And then we exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach that palm forward, flip it. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, side angle lunge. We're here to stay. So go ahead and take whatever your body needs. Both sides are never the same. So whatever feels good on the right might not feel the same on the left. If you want to extend that left arm down to the mat, stay here and stretch that body. Perhaps you want to take another bind. Listen to your body, whatever feels good right now. And we'll be here for 3 breaths. If you're in the spine, stay here and just really open up that right shoulder. See if you can open up that chest a little bit more to the sky. Bending into that left knee and activating that right foot in the back. Maybe on our next inhale, we release any bind, planting that left hand down. Exhale, sink a little deeper. On our next inhale, go ahead and pull yourself back up to a reverse warrior. Exhale, we cartwheel those arms down. Train the left foot, step it back. Take your vinyasa on your own breath. Good work. All right, in downward dog, we inhale, come up onto those tippy toes. Exhale, sink the heels down. On your next empty breath, we walk, or maybe we go ahead and take a jump. I'm scared I'm going to go right through this railing. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we sweep the arms overhead. And exhale, mountain pose. So we're going to go ahead and take the one balance pose that I feel is really grounding for us today. And that is tree. So whichever side you'd like to start on, I usually like to start with my left foot as my base. And how we started with activating our feet before, I want you to step that whatever foot you're beginning with into the mat and go ahead, lift all those toes and one by one, firmly plant them into the mat. So you have a very strong rooted base. For tree, whatever's feeling good, you can bring your foot up to the inner thigh, the inner calf, or the inner shin, or maybe on top of this foot. But avoid the knee joint because that's where we see injuries, okay? So, are you feeling stable? Maybe you come up here, foot to the inner thigh. And let's go ahead and inhale, sweep those arms overhead. As you exhale, bring the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Begin to stay here, or maybe you shift your gaze up to the sky. Maybe you challenge yourself and close your eyes. Or as you inhale, maybe we just raise the arms, slightly growing our tree. Perhaps you stay here and do pointer fingers. Or maybe we open cactus arms on the exhale. And stay for as long as you need. Try to stay for a few breaths. And really allow yourself to feel rooted here. It's okay if you're feeling wobbly. Trees sway in the wind too, so it's okay. All right, inhale, maybe those hands come back to the heart center in our Anjali Mudra. And as you exhale, go ahead and release. You can take that foot, place it down, give yourself a little shake. And go ahead and take that same thing on the opposite side. So activating that foot, lifting those toes, if that feels good, that's helping you stay grounded. And choosing which place you'd like to keep your foot today. We inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, finding our Anjali Mudra. Staying here on the next inhale, growing that tree. Maybe you take the same arm pose, or maybe something different. Inhale, bring those hands back to that heart space. And exhale, release. Dropping the foot to the mat, giving yourself a little shake. All right, my friends, coming to the top of your mat. Meeting the outer edges of your mat, heels slightly in, toes slightly out, entering into our Malasana squat. We inhale, arms sweep overhead, hands come together. And as we exhale, drop those hands down to heart center, as we come into our Malasana Yogi squat. So I'll face you so you can see. Heels are in, toes are out. We're pressing into all four corners of our feet. If you feel stable, you can go ahead and gently soften those eyes. Make sure you're opening the chest and lifting the crown of your head. And we want that tailbone really facing towards the ground. This is a great option if you have a block to place a block right under your sits bones for some extra support. And then with the triceps, we're pushing away the area just below our knees. And just finding some stability here. Maybe you want to rock gently back and forth. And before we move on to our backs, let's take one more moment to come back to our breath. If that intention is still circling around your mind and it's serving you today for your practice, welcome it. Or that affirmation, you may repeat it now. Grounding into this pose. With our next inhale, we'll go ahead and start by sweeping the left or the right arm up and behind you, whichever one feels good first. But we're slowly following by the other one, placing it behind you and allowing yourself to come carefully into a seated position. The soles of your feet will be planted firmly in front of you, like so. Arms straight out, framing those legs, palms facing each other. And when I'm ready, I'm going to slowly float my feet off the ground, straightening my spine, entering into my boat pose. If I want to stay here with my knees bent, that's perfect. Or if you want a little bit more, you can go ahead and straighten those legs. I can't do it because they always get cramps, shooting cramps down my quads. We're breathing here in boat. Crown is lifted, spine is straight. Engaging that core. Breathing here for 3 breaths. Last inhale. And on the exhale, slowly with control, lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Maybe you bring one knee in first and then the other. Give yourself a little squeeze. We're not done yet. We have a couple bridges. I'm sorry. Releasing that squeeze, go ahead and plant the soles of your feet into the mat. Make sure the distance is good so that you can just barely scratch the back of your heels with your longest finger, your middle finger. And on our inhale, with the palms facing towards the ground, you're going to push into your feet, into your hands, send those hips up to the sky, engaging those inner thighs, and maybe go ahead and interlace the hands underneath your back, tucking those shoulders under. Chin is slightly tucked. Imagine you're squeezing a block between those thighs. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale, release those hands if they're interlaced. Plant the palms into the mat and slowly lower down. I'll take 1 more round of bridge. So when you're ready, on the inhale, you push up, send those hips to the sky. You can take the same thing, interlacing those hands, or maybe you just keep the palms firmly planted into the mat, pushing into those feet, engaging the thighs. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale, go ahead and lower slowly down. Bring those knees into your chest. Give yourself another big squeeze. And go ahead and extend the left leg long out in front of you, still holding on to the right. Grabbing the outer edge of that right thigh, extending your right arm long. So the left hand has your right thigh. Go ahead and pull that thigh across your body towards the left, coming into our supine twist. And gaze can be over at that right hand. It's important here with this pose, we want to keep our shoulders grounded into the mat. This is a great option or opportunity if you have a block to place that block just below your knee so it has somewhere to rest while we ground our shoulders into the mat. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring both of those knees back into the chest. Give yourself a gentle squeeze. This time, extend the right leg long. Right hand grabs a hold of your left thigh. Left arm extends out to the left. And we pull that thigh over our body towards the right direction. And gaze can look out towards the left. Sinking into your breath. Keeping those shoulders planted down. And when you're ready, same thing. We come back to center, bringing those knees in gently. And go ahead and find your happy baby. So our arms are coming on the inner part of our knees, but grabbing the outer edges of our feet. And we want to make sure we're keeping that sacrum, that lower back area, firmly planted into the ground. Allowing ourselves to rock gently from side to side, massaging the back and the spine. Take as many breaths as you need here. And from happy baby, if there's any other pose that's calling your name that you feel the need to do, please go ahead and take the next couple moments. Find that pose. If not, you can go ahead and bring those knees back into your chest. Rolling yourself into a little ball. Inhaling, maybe bringing that head towards your knees. And maybe you're giving yourself a little kiss on the knee just for some extra self-love today. Inhale, squeeze everything really, really tight. And as you exhale, release that audible sigh as you lengthen those legs on the mat. Arms fall down by your side, palms facing up. And as we enter into our Savasana, allow yourself to release control of any thoughts, of your breath. Allow yourself to be heavy, sinking into your mat here. Maybe those toes fall just outside of the mat. I like to get my head in a very centered space. So when I inhale, I take my head over to the right side. And exhale back to center. Inhaling over to the left. And exhaling towards center. And then inhaling, bringing my chin up. And exhaling back down. This allows me to find my centered space. And as you rest in your Shavasana, maybe your intention circles back to you, or that affirmation if you had one. And take this moment to notice where your body's creating contact with the ground. And feel this pressure, this grounding anchor that has allowed you to be present in this moment with me and with your class for the last 45 minutes. Release control of everything and allow yourself to rest in your Shavasana. When you feel ready to bring some movement back into your body, you can go ahead and begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers, maybe nodding your head yes and no, and eventually tucking one knee into your chest, followed by the other knee, giving yourself one final hug, one big squeeze for your practice today. And maybe you find some rocking and rolling side to side until you fall comfortably on to one side. And from this fetal position, this rebirth position, you bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position on your mat that feels safe for you today. And your eyes can stay gently softened. Maybe your hands fall to your knees, or maybe they stay planted onto the mat. We'll go ahead and take inhales and exhales, bringing ourselves back to this moment. As we inhale, we can bring those shoulders up to our ears, sending that air down into our lungs, pausing and taking one more sip of air in from our mouth, and exhaling, sending that air back out with a loud sigh. On this next inhale, we'll go ahead and sweep those arms overhead, filling all the way up, pausing at the top, gazing between those fingers. Exhaling, bringing those hands to heart center, returning to our Anjali Mudra. Take this moment to thank yourself for showing up and hopefully allowing yourself to be grounded in this moment and finding your way through these shifts, whether they're big or small, external or internal, and finding ways to adapt to these changes. Because we know that change is the only constant. We inhale, bring our thumb knuckles to our third eye center, our center of intuition. As we exhale, we can bow forward, thanking ourselves for this practice today. And if you'd like to join me in saying namaste, we can all together say namaste.